It's your boy, Just Dom, catching the day's latest news. What's going on around the roads? Find out here first at the TCP Newsbreak.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the TCP Newsbreak. I am one of your hosts, Marquise Lupton, here today with Mr. Richard Wayne. He is one of the premier photographers and that much more here in Central Pennsylvania. Without further ado, Richard, how are you doing today?
Well, how are you? Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm good. So, first and foremost, so that our audience knows who they're talking to, who is speaking with them, rather. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and some of your background?
Absolutely. Well, I'm a commercial headshot and portrait photographer. I'm based in Lancaster City, right downtown in the middle of the city. And I've been doing that for as long as I can pretty much remember at this point. And I just really make incredible images of people so that they can go out and take on the world, feel great about themselves, have a little bit of success, and just kind of put themselves out there in a good position to build network, build relationships, and do business.
All right. So can you also let us know, let our audience know, the headshot. We were talking a little bit off air about it, so want to bring it into our conversation right now. But the headshot. Why is the headshot so important nowadays, especially in a digital world?
Oh, wow. That's a very, very loaded question because I think a lot of people know the answer there. Headshots are so important because you have to build a viable and powerful connection with somebody. People do business with those that they know, like, and trust. And if they can't build a relationship with you visually, they're probably not going to build a relationship with you in person or do business with you down the line. So it's really important to have a picture up there, and not just any picture. A selfie won't do, the beach picture with the family and the photos with the pets. They're great, but save those for personal stuff. This is meant for business and getting your face out there to build those connections. So it's really important. And now, due to COVID-19 and the pandemic, we're stuck doing Zoom conferences, and people want to see what you look like. And you don't really want to keep that video on as long as you need to, so you'll turn that off. And what's going to be replaced is your headshot. Very important tool. So it is a very important tool in the arsenal right across the board. I usually tell people it's the cornerstone of your branding.
So then, before we get into the meat and potatoes of the conversation, can you let our audience know the difference in skill level? Because when people hear photographer, they think that they can do it all, and they don't really differentiate between the different kind of skill sets. So can you let our audience know the different kinds of skill sets and the differences between like a event type photographer versus a headshot photographer?
So headshot photography is a totally different skill set than just about any other genre of photography, in that while we do emphasize a lot on lighting, which is very important to flatter our subjects, most importantly, it's about pulling out an authentic expression. Expression is everything. We're looking for something that's totally genuine, authentic in every way. But, I mean, you can look like a total badass on one end, but you can also look approachable. So we want confidence and approachability, and that's so important in an image. More often than not, the biggest issue that I see across the board with photographers is that they're not engaging with their subjects to pull those expressions out. So while they're focused on the technical, and that's very important, in the field of headshot photography, the technical is already in the back of my mind. It's already in the back pocket. And I want my hands and my mind free to work with my subject.
So when it comes to photography, what are some of the biggest misconceptions of for photography and of a photographer?
Oh, that's another loaded question, man. You're just throwing softballs at me today, aren't you? Okay, so I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that it's easy. Anybody can do it. Uncle Bob got a camera for Christmas, and suddenly he can take care of the pictures. Whatever that is, whether it's the wedding photography or the senior photos, or in my case, headshot photography.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. It takes a lot of skill. As any beginner will tell you, what ends up happening is they make pictures, they realize they're not great, they go back to the drawing board and try to figure out why they're not great.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how I evolved as a photographer. I made photos, they stunk. I wanted to go find out why. I ended up on the University of YouTube. And that's actually... that's exactly where I found my mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been with him for years, and every day I hear from him, it's something new that I'm learning, and that's fantastic. But yes, that's usually one of the biggest misconceptions. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also another adage, which I think is also very funny, which says, teach your kids photography. They will never have enough money for drugs. and the truth is, it's pretty accurate. Because everything is really, really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So when people think, well, I could just have any photographer do it for $99, whatever that is, doesn't matter the genre, right? Very cheap. They're not considering the fact that if you are a photographer running a business, nothing that we buy in order to make those really high quality pictures that you love is cheap. And that gets rolled into our cost of doing business.
Mm-hmm.
This camera right here, it doesn't look very big to you, but if I bring it up, that camera there, that's a couple of $1,000s right there. Just
wow.
This is just a couple of $1,000s, and it doesn't really seem like that, but yeah, because they're high-tech pieces of computer equipment.
Right.
So when you really think about the cost that we invest, we're investing in our education, we're investing in our equipment, we're investing in where we do that work. In my case, it's in my studio. We invest in a lot of things, and plus things like insurance and other costs of doing the business and delivering those images to you. Nothing really becomes cheap for us. So photography, in my opinion, is not a negotiable craft. You would not negotiate with your attorney. You would not negotiate with your doctor.
Very true.
Right?
Very true.
So why is it okay to negotiate with a photographer?
Absolutely.
I have never considered myself an artist. Even though there is an artistic element to what I do, I consider myself a businessman. Right?
Right.
Just like your surgeon, right? There's a science to what he does, but he's an art too.
Right.
Same thing.
Absolutely.
So there are a lot of misconceptions about it, but those are a couple.
Okay, so then focusing on your business, July 22nd. Can you tell our audience what's coming up?
I can certainly do that for you. On July 22nd, between 11 in the morning and 7 p.m., myself and 3 other photographers at the Lancaster location, Park City Mall, will be giving away free headshots. Totally free. All you have to do is register. This is part of a much larger nationwide event to give away complimentary, free, no cost, 10,000 headshots across the nation to anyone who is unemployed. There is no verification process. We're taking your word for it. You guys have had it hard enough if you're unemployed. We know, we feel your pain. We've been on the bench for 3 months because of COVID. We want to put you back in the workforce and give you a leg up. So we're giving away headshots, and all you have to do is register at www.headshotbooker.com. That's HEADSHOTBOOKER.com.
All right, so why did you all decide to participate in this initiative?
Okay, so the initiative was actually the brainchild of Tony Tafe. Now, Tony is a headshot photographer who is part of a large network of other headshot photographers, which I'm involved in. And he said, while laying on his floor, I think during quarantine, how can I help my own business? And that really wasn't panning out because, again, we were all quarantined at that point. So he decided in his own mind to turn the tables 180 degrees and say, how can I serve others? And with that, he brought in our mentor, Peter Hurley, who is the foremost authority on headshot photography in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He brought in an incredible event photographer and businesswoman, Lauren Lieberman. He brought in Spot My Photos, which is a company that we're using to deliver the images directly to the clients that we take on the 22nd. And a developer, Joe Pelosi. I mean, there are a lot of people involved in this undertaking. And what ended up happening was everybody caught wind of Tony's idea. And he asked for people to jump on board. And Marquise, without hesitation, more than 200, I think closer to 215 people jumped on board to help out. Again, these are totally free headshots. So you've got 215 photographers across 50 states giving away 10,000 headshots.
That's amazing.
All on one day.
Oh, wow. And if you can tell our audience again the when and where before I ask my next question.
Absolutely. Park City Mall, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, July 22nd, between 11 o'clock in the morning and 7 p.m., all on one day. Go to www.headshotbooker.com. Find Pennsylvania, hit Lancaster, choose a time that you want, and we'll see you there.
All right. And for you personally, why did you personally get involved? I mean, you certainly could have suggested this to other photographers and everything like that. Like, this is, virtually, essentially working for free for 8 hours. What was it for you that said, you know what, I want to be a part of this group that's going to do this in Lancaster?
Well, I can give you a couple of different reasons. Mm-hmm. The first is the fact that I have been unemployed before. Mm-hmm. That's number one. So in a life prior to photography, I used to work in corporate America, and I have been unemployed, and it sucks. Mm-hmm. And you feel incredible sadness and grief and a terrible void in yourself. As a headshot photographer, flash forward, one of my jobs, and it's not just a job, I love it. I don't go to work. I enjoy doing what I'm doing. But one of my jobs when I'm working with my clients is to build them up, is to instill confidence in them, or more poignantly, pull it out of them that they don't even see in themselves, and then show that to them visually. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Yeah.
The reaction you witness when somebody sees themselves as a confident and powerful and amazing, beautiful human being, and they've never seen themselves that way before, I cannot adequately express with words how amazing that feels. Like, my heart really glows when I see that. So I'm sorry, go ahead, please.
No, that's kind of funny that you bring that up, because when I think about the different photo shoots that I've had, and when I think about the interaction with the photographer, the chemistry, I'll say, and I think about the photographers that were in it. Oh, you look great. Look at that smile. Oh, look at that beard. It's like a lion mane.
I do like the beard. I do. Yeah.
Thank you. So like hearing stuff like that, like that reassurance, and looking at those pictures versus the photo shoots where the photographer is more reserved and more technical. I appreciate those pictures when the photographer is in it, because it's more personable.
Sure.
And now that you're talking about it, I never really realized, I really gravitate more towards those kind of photo shoots, because those are the guys and women that I actually called on for repeat photo shoots, because it's more than just a photo shoot. Like it's a vibe, you know, it's a experience. You know?
Absolutely, 100%, Marquise. It's an experience. It's a collaboration, right? There's kind of a dance that goes on between a photographer and a subject. Right? And it sounds strange because you could be thinking, well, this guy's gonna dance with me. No, not really. Maybe a little. I mean, if you bring the beard, we'll dance a little. The point is that I'm going to lead the dance and I'm going to direct you, and you're in good hands. I'm going to coach you through everything that's going to make that picture outstanding, because in the back of my mind, I know what your objectives are. I know you want to look amazing. I know that you want to put yourself out there in such a way that says, I'm confident, I'm approachable, I am a trustworthy individual. And that's so important, right? That image will speak 1,000 words and more. But as you say, you used a great word. It's a vibe.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
So you're going to vibe with me and I'm going to vibe with you. But ultimately, your final image is going to vibe with an employer, a potential client, an existing client. You might get referrals. You might get repeat business. But all of that is a question of vibe.
So if before we head out, we have about 3 minutes left. With COVID and the pandemic, how has that affected your business today, and where do you see the photography industry going in the next 2 or 3 years?
Sure. So when we were quarantined around mid-March, I obviously could not function in the studio, and I couldn't really be around any other people. I mean, it's kind of a, dare I say, contact sport, right? So I can't be in close contact with people if I'm quarantined. So much like everybody else, I suffered through 3 months of quarantine. On June 5th, right, June 5th, Governor Wolf opened things up a little bit, and so I could start working with clients again. And so from then until now, things have actually been pretty steady and pretty busy for me.
Awesome.
And then on top of that, I'm throwing on this incredible event on July 22nd. Not a shameless plug. It's just really important that people realize that you can get out there and get a free headshot. But I'm throwing that onto my plate as well, because I think it's that important.
Right.
It is so important. It is important for people individually. It's important for our local economy. It's important for our national economy.
Indeed.
And you know what? It gives people a good sense of purpose and self-worth to get back into the workforce, earn some money for themselves, support their family.
Yes.
I know what it's like to not have that. And so I want to give back to people to do that. That's why I joined forces with the 10,000 Headshots initiative. So really important. Come on out, headshotbooker.com. Come out on this 22nd of July, get a free headshot. It's on us.
All right. And one more time for the people in the back. Where, what date, and what time? One more time.
One more time. Here we go. Man, we're going to sing it in a chorus. Here we go. July 22nd, guys. Mark it down on your calendars. That's Wednesday. That's just a few days from now. From 11 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock in the evening at Park City Mall. That's in Lancaster. Okay. Register at headshotbooker.com. Headshotbooker.com. Click on Pennsylvania, choose Lancaster, choose a time, get involved. You're going to get a free headshot, get you back to work, get you back on your feet. It's on us.
All right. Richard, I appreciate it. Had a great conversation with you. I hope that this won't be the first time. I hope that this won't be the last time. I mean,
man, you almost had me going the other way. I was like, well, he's done with me. Marquise, the pleasure was mine, my friend. I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me and helping us promote this to your audience. I know that they'll find some value in it. And I sincerely hope they find value in what we're doing and what you're doing. I know I do.
Yes, thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get on to Tea with Toy now. So stay tuned. It's TCP in the morning.
It's your boy, Just Dom, catching the day's latest news. What's going on around the roads? Find out here first at the TCP Newsbreak.